Breaking Egypt news, we have the first physical evidence of Ptolemaic Egyptians drinking hallucinogenic cocktails out of mugs like these. David Tanasi, a scholar at the University of South Florida, examined one of these Ptolemaic Bess mugs. These come from around the 2nd century BCE, and he was able to do chemical analyses on the interior of the mug to find a variety of hallucinogenics as well as other things in these cocktails. The specific one that was examined was this one, which is in the Tampa Museum of Art and had been donated in 1984. Bess is a household god that is meant to be a protector of the household, women, children, fertility, as well as medicinal healing and magical protection. We have had some writings about ancient Egyptians using different hallucinogens, as well as kind of centuries old myths, and this is the first time that we've ever had any sort of physical evidence that they did. I will note this is in the Ptolemaic period, so this is when Greeks had already settled in Egypt, so we don't know exactly during the actual Pharaonic period if we have that physical evidence, but we know at least by the Ptolemaic period, and when they are still worshiping Egyptian gods, they apparently were using different plants that have psychedelic effects. By pulverizing the samples on the inside of the mug, they were able to analyze these and look at the different chemicals that essentially had been stuck to the inside of this mug. And they were able to find some very interesting and honestly, maybe even a little bit gross things inside these drinks. One of the first plants is something called wild rue or African rue, otherwise known as harmel. And this has a lot of different uses, but grows in the area of Egypt and the other Mediterranean. And one of its effects is quite hallucinogenic, and so much so that other cultures have also used it as such. The other one is also pretty simple. It is the Egyptian water lily, and this has also very many hallucinogenic effects, and has been theorized for a long time that this was one of the ones that could have been used, but this is the first time that we actually have distinct evidence of it. There also was, unfortunately, some human residue that was found left over in the cup. But while usually those would be attributed to contaminants, they actually found quite a few different proteins. Essentially, now they have broken down what possible human fluids could have been in this. And their list, which I have to look at again, is breast milk or mucus fluid or blood. Those are the options we have, guys. Finally, to top it all off, there were quite a few more normal things in this jar. There was residue of honey and there was residue of fermented fruit, which makes sense. It's making some sort of cocktail, some sort of wine. But what do you guys think about this? This is a crazy thing. The entire article is free access on nature.com, and I definitely highly recommend you read it all, even if it is a little really, really science. There's some really interesting tidbits inside there.